Hi, everybody. Today, we have a special announcement. We're recording the podcast for a second time.
Woo!
We recorded this episode yesterday, but I didn't turn on Christina's microphone.
No, you didn't.
And
it was all your fault. We're just going on the record.
And you know what? I had the debate whether or not we should.
Or you did. It was on. It just wasn't set up properly on the computer.
I had not set the recording to go into the right directory.
Yes.
So, and I had debated whether or not we should re-record. But you know what? Because we appreciate and we value you, the fans, we decided
doing it for you, all 9 of you.
Yeah, we've decided that we're gonna give you guys the best content.
I think it's honestly kind of a blessing in disguise because we finished recording yesterday and we were like, wow, that was a bad episode. So now we have a chance to do it again and make it even better.
Why do you think it was a bad episode?
I don't think we had any bits. I think we couldn't remember the movie very well, so I think we were just
I think there's a couple of bits I remember. I'll see if I can bring them up. But I should introduce the podcast. This is Shut Up and Watch the Movie, your favorite podcast, where 2 people kind of goof around and talk about a movie that they made the other one watch.
Yep.
You know, a unique concept from very professional and sophisticated individuals who know how to run a podcast.
Clearly, yeah. Well, I think it does say something, I don't know, to our standards that in the beginning we had quite bad sound quality. If you go listen to our first, 10 episodes or so. And we were much improved, and now we have higher standards, and we were like, we couldn't go back, you know?
You know, we couldn't remember the Cat in the Hat episode.
It was bad. It was bad.
Terrible.
And it was funny because we thought it was going to be good. We were
because
guys, listen to the sound quality! And then, it sounded like
that was one we probably should have re-recorded, but we didn't do it.
We didn't. I think there's been a few that we probably could have, but, for both, time purposes,
but now,
and just also when we realized it was too late,
now
or
we're now
cutting our losses, which we consider doing for this one.
No, I think we should buckle down and take this podcast as seriously as it demands.
Our goal is for this to be a full-time job.
Imagine.
We're kidding. That is not our goal. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be against it.
It's a side quest.
I wouldn't be against that happening, but...
All right. Oh, we watched The Thing, by the way. I made Christina watch The Thing.
Yeah.
Just so that's clear.
But before we get into
but we do a little segment on the show called the Tiny Little Itty Bitty Movie Corner, where we just talk about a movie we watched in the past week.
Yes. Maybe you'll get a recommendation.
Yeah, maybe you'll get a little recommendation, or maybe you'll hear about something we hated. Mm-hmm. Like me this week.
That's interesting. I think I've only suggested movies that I liked, or at least passively was like, I think there was maybe one where I was like, I just wanted to sit on the couch and do nothing, and so I put this movie on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you can go first.
I can go first because I had an honorable mention.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to bring this up, but then Tyson the other day was like, you have to bring it up.
Yep.
So.
And we talked about it on the last recording of this for 30 minutes.
On our 1.0 version of this episode. As we know, I'm babysitting a lot and taking care of kids. And there's one kid that I watch that loves Bluey. So I've watched quite a bit of Bluey. And I recently watched what is currently the final episode of Bluey. I think they've announced that they are making more, but it's currently the last episode that's out. And it is magnificent. If you're not familiar, Bluey is a children's TV show about a talking blue dog and her family, and it's Australian, and it's cute. They play together, they go on adventures. It's like a wholesome, quality children's television show. But most of the episodes are only 8 minutes on. This one episode is 30 minutes. Genuinely better than anything Pixar's put out in the past few years.
I don't believe that.
It is so good. At least story-wise, yes. Yes. Absolutely.
It can't be that good. It's a talking dog, dude.
It's a talking dog. Okay, Finding Nemo's a talking fish.
I guess that's fair. You know what? I didn't like Finding Nemo as a kid.
That's a bad take.
As
a kid, we all have bad takes as kids. That's fine. But anyway, that Bluey episode, I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm not going to tell you to go watch it because had I not been babysitting, I would have never watched it in my free time. But I don't know, just it's good to know that there is some quality stuff for kids out there when most of it is not. Most of it's garbage, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't talk down to the kid, I don't think.
No, it's cute. It's very sweet. It's a sweet show. And that one episode I should explain is Bluey and her family are getting ready to move away because her dad got a job in a different city.
That's so sad and so relatable. It
coincides with there's a wedding happening and the bride runs away. So everybody's having to face these big changes in their life. And it's change can be scary, but it can also be really good. And it's a part of life. And it's beautiful. And I was on the verge of tears sitting next to this 4-year-old and be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But that's not my actual pick for the week.
Yeah, that's not. But you were just so excited about it because you came home and you were telling me about it immediately.
Yes, I came home the other day and I was like, you guys, I watched this Bluey episode, blew my mind.
Crazy. Okay.
My actual pick for the week, that's an actual film, is Cabaret, which is a musical that was made in the 1970s, I believe, but it takes place in 1930s Germany, in Berlin. It's about it's about this performer at a nightclub, but also kind of like a friend that she makes who he's kind of like an outsider, and like I feel like it almost follows him more than her, but it's very much one of those movies that's like, this is kind of the whole point of the movie, is like, look at all this flashiness, and then like, also in the background very subtly see the rise of the Nazi party. It's very well done, great movie.
And it's
scary
a musical?
How relevant some of the themes are. Yes, it is a musical.
You know, what was it? We were talking about this. Eddie Redmayne did it?
Yes. They had a revival on Broadway. That was like a year or two ago.
Well, I saw it on Twitter and people were clowning on him because he was like acting like a marionette puppet.
He was
like,
kind of strange, but
like
that's
doing
like,
it like a TikToker doing.
Yes. Now, I have not seen this movie, and I've seen a lot of clips of the show, like a stage version, but I've never actually seen a full performance of this. So it was great. It was very good. You can recommend it.
You can have something on your bucket list to go see it in.
Yeah, I'd love to see a stage version of it.
If you thought it was good enough.
It was very good. I definitely, if you like old musicals, and especially this one's a little bit, I think it's a little bit darker than some, like, you know, sometimes old musicals are very like bright and happy and da-da-da.
Yeah.
This one has some sinister stuff going on.
We know you like old musicals.
I do.
That's half the stuff you show me.
It's reliable, you know. That's reliable. For me. If it's an old musical, I'm probably gonna like it. So, all right. But that one is genuinely very good.
Let me get into my pick. So I try not to be negative because, you know, we all are trying to make movies. We're all out here in Hollywood busting our ass. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work. Me. It's a miracle any movie gets made, they say.
Yeah.
My favorite movie, I would oftentimes say, is American Werewolf in London. So I finally watched the sequel, which is called An American Werewolf in Paris, and it's not good. I'm sorry. It was like 1997, so it's like 10 years after they made almost 20 years. And 15 maybe.
I forget, is this at all related?
No,
to,
it's got like the same werewolf rules, but I think otherwise it's not like really. None of the same characters are there. It's about the acting is terrible. It looks ugly.
That's just a really interesting movie to make like a sequel to, because I feel like it wasn't like that big of a movie, you know? Like, it's not like, I don't think it was like a small indie production or anything. Like, I feel like it had its fan base, but I don't know. I
looked into it, and apparently they said the only reason why they made the sequel is because that production company, the only movie they ever made that made any money was that movie.
Oof.
So you're going to get it.
Yikes.
But apparently they gave it to John Landis, and then he turned in a script for a sequel, and then they didn't like it. So they just made a different one.
Okay, well, that's on them.
That's I was about to say, like, why are you doing it then?
Can't help them with that.
Anyway.
So your pick this week is a bad movie.
Unfortunately, yes, because I didn't watch a lot of movies this past week. And I didn't watch any movies in between the last time we recorded this.
That's too bad. I've just lied once or twice and like used a movie I watched from like.
You can't admit that on the podcast.
I have. It's all been movies that I have watched recently.
We just said we're buckling down and taking this seriously.
Only like once or twice. I think a few weeks ago I was going through some personal stuff, so I lied about one or two of the movies.
Oh,
but
Lord.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll be so professional from now on. Only things I've seen.
It's about time we grow up.
In real time.
It's about time we grow up, Christina.
It's about time we grow up. Look, it's time that we say as we're sitting in a closet living in LA, both unemployed.
Recording a podcast?
Yeah.
I hope this is. You think this is like funny to listen to, or do you think people listen? They're just like, man, this is sad.
Well, we can ask our 9 listeners.
What do you guys email in? Email in.
Okay. Well, right. You know what is scary? The Thing.
The movie we watched?
Yeah.
So
we should get into it.
Yeah, I made Christina watch The Thing this week, directed by John Carpenter. As part of our John Carpenter-a-thon, if you're just tuning in this episode, I have been making Christina watch 3 John Carpenter movies. This is the second one.
This is the second one. So third I've seen overall, because before this I had seen Halloween.
She had only ever seen Halloween. And John Carpenter, listen, one of the greats to many people, especially in the genre space. So many classic movies.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
So I hear.
So The Thing is often widely regarded as John Carpenter's best movie. Mm-hmm. I go between this and Halloween.
I haven't seen Halloween in a while, but from what I remember, I definitely liked this more than Halloween. I love this movie. I thought this was great.
Let's not spoil your reaction. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Good. I'm glad you liked it.
You guys, I thought this was great. But is that really shocking for me to say that this is like considered one of the best horrors of all time? And it's like, guys, I think it's a good movie.
Sometimes I hit it out of the park. Sometimes Christina absolutely hates what I show her.
But I feel like the ones that I hate are usually more controversial picks,
Like Skinamarink?
Yeah, I hate that movie.
I know you do.
It's so bad.
I know you do.
So stupid.
This movie is
And
just
I feel like
as
that
long
one
as
is
that
much
one.
more controversial.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people hate that
Cat
movie.
in the Hat?
This one, yeah, that's another one where I feel like a lot of people also hate that movie. This one I feel like is pretty universally loved. Although, apparently, when it first came out, I was reading the Wikipedia, it wasn't.
No, yeah, people didn't like it. People thought it was too gross.
It's pretty gross.
People did not like that E.T. had came out at the same time.
Very different alien movie.
I was about to say
I do love E.T.
I don't know how much I buy into that though, because it's like
I think that's kind of
Alien
silly.
existed
I don't know,
before.
They're two different movies.
Yeah, it's not like people didn't know mean aliens were an option.
That's like people not liking a Star Wars movie because a Marvel movie came out that year. Like that's.
To be fair, I guess they do that. I was about to say, have they ever done that though? But
yeah, I remember Endgame coming out, and then I remember what was the Skywalker,
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it's Rise of Skywalker. I was gonna say Rise of the Resistance, but I was like, that's not right.
That's the ride.
That's the ride at Disney. Those came out the same year, and I feel like people were hating on Star Wars, and I was like, you guys, it has nothing to do with Endgame. It's just not good.
Yeah, I was about to say, who said that?
Good movie.
Who said that they didn't like Rise of Skywalker?
Well, because okay, here's the thing. Rise of Skywalker does the same thing that like Endgame does with like the final battle, where it's like this really corny moment of like everybody showing up and being like, we're gonna help you out.
I feel like
we did it together. Because technically Endgame did it first. I think that I don't know how much really emphasis put on. I just remember I'll admit to it. I remember sitting in the theater during Rise of Skywalker and being like, I saw this exact scene like 6 months ago when I watched Endgame.
Didn't we have a conversation on this podcast where you admitted that you didn't like what's the Rian Johnson one?
Oh, The Last Jedi. Yeah, that's the worst one.
That's not the worst one.
That's not the worst out of all the Star Wars movies.
No,
that's the worst out of the
That's
sequels.
not the worst out of the sequels. How is that worse than not what this podcast is about. How is that worse than Rise of Skywalker?
Because honestly, I haven't seen any of them in a while, and I feel like I love the original Star Wars movies, and the sequels I'm like kind of indifferent about. Like I'm like, yeah, they're fun, whatever. I don't really care.
Fine. They're fine. Listen, like I said,
just felt like I didn't like a lot of the stuff going on in Last Jedi. I don't think it's like any one particular thing I can pinpoint. I think there's like a lot of parts that I'm just like, this is stupid.
Okay, well, you know what? Like I said, we're not going to be negative.
You know why? They didn't let Finn and Poe be together. And that was... Disney's a bunch of cowards for that.
Yeah, what if
pisses me off.
That's on record now. Now, guess what Disney's going to show you when you try to work for them?
When I applied to a job there?
Yeah, when you have to work there.
Disney... No, because I respect Disney as a company. The Mr. Mouse, if you're listening...
You just said they're cowards or whatever.
They are cowards for not doing that? Come on! Because the fan base would have, I don't know.
They would have been too powerful.
They would have gone crazy. But it was the only thing that made sense. He was wearing his jacket. He's like, no, keep it. It looks good on you. Like...
One line from like the first movie.
No, that's one example. There is more than that.
I'm not saying they can't be gay. I'm just saying, well, okay, maybe this is a problem Rian Johnson also created.
The actors themselves... like, have openly admitted that they would have been down for that and they thought it was a good idea. Yeah, and then Rian Johnson tries to set the whatever the girl's name is, it's not her fault. You know what? But, like, that was just bad. There was no chemistry between them. It was bad.
I haven't seen any of those movies since they were in theaters.
I haven't seen them in
a while. We need to get into the thing.
Yeah, we're talking about the wrong sci-fi movie right now.
Okay, directed by John Carpenter, screenplay by Bill Lancaster, based on a novella called Who Goes There by John W. Campbell. Stars Kurt Russell.
What a guy.
Distributed by Universal Pictures. I'm going to give a little bit more information about the movies. I figured we have to contribute something to the conversation.
So you're stating facts that already exist?
I can at least give some facts about the movie we're talking about.
Okay. I feel like that's not contributing to the conversation. That's just saying things that already exist and you can find on Wikipedia.
Oh, do you have a better idea for how we can...
Yeah, let's talk about our opinions for them if you want to add to the conversation.
Well, we're both just going to say it's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, Who Goes There also served as the source material for a 50s movie called The Thing, which is I guess this is a remake of, but it's more of an adaptation, a readaptation of the same source material. I have not seen the 50s one, but it's not like this. It's different.
Okay.
So it's not relevant.
No, doesn't matter.
Not relevant at all.
Might as well not even exist.
You know what would have been interesting is if we actually had watched that. No, that's actually way too much work. That completely destroys...
We're already re-recording this. We don't need more work. We say as if we put so much effort into this.
We have to go sit in a closet for an hour and talk. That destroys the whole conceit of the podcast either. I'm not trying to give you, like...
Yeah, it's not homework.
Yeah. We're just going to watch a movie and talk about it.
The whole reason we do this at this point is because we're like, we're having fun. There's no reason to stop. We enjoy it.
So, let's get into the plot with all of that.
Yes.
Setting the stage.
Well, wait, the very first thing that happens is that you see a spaceship going toward Earth.
Yep.
That's that.
And then it crashes.
And then, I guess we know, yeah, I guess.
And Christina looks over and she's like, is this an alien movie?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's The Thing.
And I was like, it could be a monster movie. I thought it was like a monster movie.
Well, technically, aliens are monsters. If you...
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay, you know what? Let's have a bit of a more interesting conversation here than last time.
Right.
Aliens, yes or no? Real or not?
Do they exist?
Yes.
Absolutely. Except I don't believe that they're like little green people that are like waddling around.
Are they more like
then,
this?
Using, no, I think that honestly, this is gonna sound boring, but I think the most likely thing is that alien life form is probably just different forms of bacteria on other.
I bet that bacteria though would mess a human up.
Oh, for sure. I'm
not
saying that it's not possible there is more intelligent life out there, but I'm a bit more skeptical. But I feel like the universe is so big, there has to be something. Yeah. But I just don't think there's any way for us to truly conceptualize what an alien could be.
It's scary how big the universe is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there could be things like this, not pun intended, but they're in Antarctica, right?
Mm-hmm. Wait, do you think aliens are real?
I think they're probably in the same thing. I will say this. I don't want anything to do with it. If aliens are gonna come by, save that for after I'm dead.
If an alien came to Earth and you had to show it one movie to sum up civilization,
I'd show it something nicer than this. I wouldn't show it this movie.
I wouldn't show it this movie.
I'm trying to think of something that wouldn't freak it out.
I'm trying to think of something uplifting and wholesome. My brain, I feel like if I had more time to think, I'd probably come up with a different answer. But my brain on the spot is thinking of About Time, which I don't think you've seen.
It's a bad answer. They wouldn't get it. That's like a play on a trope in human pop culture.
You haven't seen the movie though, because
I don't think they'd understand what a time traveler is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or maybe they do if they can.
I just think that movie has a very nice message about life. I guess that's all. That's what I was thinking.
I'd maybe just show it a concert, a taped concert.
Oh, interesting.
And just to have it experience music, harmless.
What concert though?
I don't know. Eras Tour.
Really?
I'm kidding.
Damn, as a huge Swiftie, I was thinking Live Aid with Freddie Mercury, the Eras Tour.
I'd probably show him Bach or Mozart.
They'd be scared. Well, that's not.
I guess you don't have a tape.
I guess I was I don't know if there's tape of that. There's probably tape of an orchestra.
Are we here to talk about The Thing or what?
I'm just saying. Well, you're going to humanize The Thing in a little bit, so just sit down and watch a movie.
Okay, before we get into it, I want everyone to go with the idea that The Thing was just trying to get away. Everyone in this movie thinks The Thing is trying to kill him.
I think that The Thing just naturally kills the things that come to his path.
I think it does because we'll get into this, but we might as well just break down the rules of The Thing here.
Well, no, I think we should get into it because I feel like we don't.
Okay.
I feel like part of the discovery of the thing's qualities is part of the movie, I feel like. So I don't know if I want
we should. I'm just trying to think of a way to make this more interesting than what we did last time.
No, I was saying, I feel like this is already way different than what we did last time. We're not even that far into it.
Part of the issue with the last time we recorded this was that we kind of just summarized. We summarize the movie every week. But we also did a very bad job. Because there's 10 characters in this.
There's a lot of characters, and you say they all have defining traits.
You don't think so?
I think for the most part they do, but there's at least 2 or 3 of them that I kind of grouped together in my brain.
And we never remember the names of any of the characters in any of our discussions.
No, in any movie ever practically.
No, never.
Yeah, no. These guys, you're going to give me a bunch of guys in the 70s in Antarctica and
80s.
You're so right. 80s. I kept thinking it was 70s because Kurt Russell looks like he walked straight out of the 70s.
He does have.
Movie.
Yeah,
he's got a flow. He's got a beard. I'll bring it up now. Yeah. Listen, they're gonna go through some crazy stuff in this movie. Okay, they're gonna go through it. They're gonna have a rough time. And Kurt Russell, in the beginning of this movie, I was kind of hating on him because I was like, he just has like a lot of hair in the sense that like people in the 70s did. You know, he's got like a scraggly beard. He's got quite the flow going on. But by the end of the movie, his hair is silky smooth. It looks amazing. I'm just shocked. I don't know how it didn't get messed up during this entire movie and all the ordeals that he goes through. But props to him because, you know, one thing, sometimes we bring up good hair on this podcast.
Yeah, we do. We do talk about the hair.
And this goes down in like the good hair hall of fame, I think, of our podcast for sure. It's great. You get to the end of the movie and it's still just like, it looks like he just blow dried it.
Because it's a Hollywood movie, so of course they're going to make his hair look great.
Yeah, but like realistic, movie. I feel like a lot of movies, like realistically, you would mess it up a little.
I think none of them
mess it up a little bit. It still looks flawless at the end.
Yeah, this is true.
It looks great.
It does look great.
So I was like, damn, I feel bad for hating on his hair. It looks fantastic. Okay, good for him.
People don't even know where they are. They're in Antarctica. I think I said that actually.
Oh, this movie takes place in Antarctica.
Yeah, okay. Yes. We need to get into the plot. They're on a research base.
It's a group of scientists.
Yeah.
We just keep saying they.
We don't... It's like 10 or so scientists.
10-ish, yeah.
We don't really know what they're studying.
Nope.
Antarctica stuff.
What do people study in Antarctica right now?
I don't know, like, ice cores? Like...
Yeah, that would probably actually make sense, yeah. But...
The layers?
So we're in... Before we even actually get to the United States base, there is a Norwegian helicopter, and they're flying... And they're shooting at a dog. And at this point...
And we don't know why.
2 minutes into the movie, Tyson turns to me and goes, gee, I hope you don't like dogs. Why? Why would you say that?
First of all, I wasn't wrong.
Of course I like dogs.
Second of all, this was before... Okay, no, it actually wasn't before. But this was before I knew you loved Bluey so much.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But
also, that doesn't have anything to do with... I like dogs regardless of Bluey.
I love dogs too. I'm just saying this movie does not treat dogs very well.
Listen, yeah, if you're one of those people that you can't watch a movie where a dog dies, don't tune in for this one.
Several die in this.
Yeah, don't tune in for this one.
Like you were saying, you said I only show you movies where dogs or
children die.
I mean, sometimes it's just how the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to tell you.
Or are tortured, I guess, if you want to count Cat in the Hat.
Well...
The dog and the children are tortured in that one.
Do you think that movie got inspiration from this?
I could see it.
You could see it?
I could see it, yeah.
Okay, let's get through this.
That wasn't the answer you were hoping for.
No, I was...
Okay, so they're shooting at the dog, and then it crashes, right?
Yeah, they crash, and the guy trying to blow up the dog accidentally blows himself up.
Yep.
Or wait, no, they don't crash, but they land, and then the guy accidentally blows up the helicopter.
Oh, okay. There you go. And this is like by the American base.
Okay, yeah.
So the Americans are like, what?
Kurt Russell is a dude who's working on the base. He's not the leader.
No.
But he's McCready.
McCready. Yeah, that's like the one name I do know.
Yeah, because he's got it on his jacket.
Is it McCready or McReady?
I think it's McCready.
It's spelled like Mac-Ready.
McCready. But do you want to get into this?
No, I'm not. I'm just...
Mac-Ready. I'm going to... RJ McCready.
I was just asking.
Say out
I just
loud.
Wasn't positive.
I
just wanted to...
How to pronounce McCready.
Like...
What? McCready.
Okay.
You hear that?
But like, wouldn't it be like...
McCready.
This is gonna sound stupid.
What?
So like, McReady instead of like McCready.
What are you getting at?
Like Mac versus Mick. Like
what?
McReady versus McCready.
Wait, what I don't understand. Why are you like giggling like that's a joke? Like what?
Because do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't understand what you're saying. What are you talking about?
Like McReady versus like McCready.
What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. What?
I'm pronouncing it two different ways.
Yes, I get that. So, but why is that like special?
I don't know. I was just like trying to make sure we say his name correctly.
It's McCready.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
How do we get through the last podcast without this coming up?
I don't know, because I think it was fresh in my brain and I was just like, yeah, that's how they say it.
You know what? No, I think you did say it the way you were just saying it, and I was just like, I'm not going to bring it up.
All right, fine. Well, I'm going to just say it however the hell I want to say it.
Fine.
Okay, fine.
We don't remember anybody's...
So he's there, the helicopter blows up.
Yeah, helicopter blows up.
McReady. Damn it. I didn't even do that on
We got to
purpose.
get through this.
They get the dog. They're like, who let the dog out?
Okay, so they...
Wait.
Okay, let's bring it up. Okay, so there's a dog. There's
Speaking
a dog
of
that
dogs,
lives next door to us. And it was howling.
Howls like a wolf at the moon. Actually, it's really funny when there's sirens going off nearby. It like harmonizes with the sirens. And I think it's really funny.
I feel like... Is this worse than the last time we recorded this? We're just talking about anything.
I think we're being sillier.
We are being sillier.
We're doing a worse job at telling the movie, but
I mean, everybody's seen the movie.
I hadn't seen the movie before.
Yes, that's
this.
true. Okay, so they try to get the dog. The dog escapes. They kill themselves.
We're like 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. What did you just say?
The dog like escapes into the U.S. base.
Oh,
they get the dog.
Yes.
They shoot out. They kill the rest of the Norwegians, and they're like, "How this?
Like,
what happened with this dog?
What's going on? Why are they shooting this dog? What's up with the Norwegians?"
So they go over. So McCready and another guy go over to the Norwegian base, and they discover that it was destroyed. And
it's
like
basically like burnt down. Everyone's dead and
a
burnt.
guy is frozen, but he slit his wrists.
Oh yeah, that's a cool shot because it's like it looks like he has like blood icicles hanging out of his wrists.
Yeah, and
Hell yeah.
And I remember I was thinking,
Sick.
how are you able to how are you not dead before you're able to slit your wrists if it's so cold that the blood freezes?
We're like,
yeah, you would be
'cause
dead.
It was like literally like frozen
midway through the drip.
Right. I don't know. Is it possible? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Neither are you. I guess we'll never know.
No, we did not study any valuable skills. So there's no way to know.
So there's that. And then, okay, but also at the Norwegian base, this is where it starts to get important. We gotta lock in. They find this human-esque corpse, except it's like very deformed. It has like two faces.
It's really ugly. It's really unpleasant.
Like it looks not like it looks like it's almost human, but not quite. It's very it's creepy to look at for sure. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, the makeup effects in this entire I mean, that's not like a revelation to say, but the makeup in the movie is really great.
Very good. Very good.
It's good the whole time.
It's super great. Super cool.
It's really gross. You discovered you might like gross movies.
I do. Yeah, I just feel like some of the gross movies I've seen are like
What's another gross movie?
The Fly.
Yeah, The Fly.
Have you seen The Fly?
I have seen The Fly.
Fly's pretty gross, but it's fantastic. It's a great movie, but it's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It's really disgusting. You see The Substance?
I haven't yet, but I really want to.
That's a gross movie.
I think I'm gonna like that.
It's a gross
whenever
movie.
I do end up seeing it.
Okay.
Okay, so they take this corpse thing.
They take the corpse back so they can
with them because they're science.
they can dissect it.
Listen, I don't want to say I'd survive this movie because I think at a certain point, at this point in the movie, I would have seen that thing and I've been like, "That's super creepy." Like, bye, and I would have flown back to the base and lived on with my life. I would have never brought that back. But then I guess
No, the dog's there.
Yeah, the dog.
Oh, spoiler alert, the dog's a thing.
Well, we'll find out.
Well, I mean, the cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah, I guess so. But, okay, so they take the corpse back so that they can, like, study it. Because they're a scientist, so they want to test it and figure out what it is and what's going on. So they do, and they're, like, the insides are basically normal human insides.
Yeah.
So it's, like, kind of creepy because it's, like, this thing does not look human, but the inside of it is human.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Like, we don't know. We
don't know.
This is
Also,
creepy.
this guy is working. This guy, I mean, I guess, like, what else would you put on? Like a hazmat suit or like a smock?
No, because he's literally just has like gloves on, and then
just
he's like
two,
wearing
like-
his normal clothes. He doesn't have like a mask or anything.
And he's like getting all up in there into the guts of this
sticking
thing.
his hand in
Like
the
his
stomach.
arm.
He pulls out like intestines. Like
And he's like, yeah, look at this.
disgusting. It's not disgusting. It's the
This
natural
is
human
okay. This
body.
is why I'm not a scientist. Is because I can't do stuff like that. If you're a doctor,
I
you have
actually
to
think I'd be
see stuff
okay.
like that all the time.
I think it would take some getting used to for me, but like I think I could do it. I also think that doctors, some are grossed out in the beginning and then they get so used to it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess I'm not really grossed out by stuff in horror movies anymore.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes.
You get used to it. Okay, so then they have the dog, right? They put the dog in the kennel with the other dogs.
Yeah.
You guys.
Whoops.
We got to get into some top tier dog acting, okay?
Oh yeah, the dog acting in this movie is really
the dog
good.
acting is insane. Like, props to the dogs because I have, honestly, maybe the best dog acting I've ever seen.
Perhaps. I mean, I can't think of a
I honestly can't think of
Marmaduke. Have you seen Marmaduke?
I have like a very
Well, I
vague
mean, they
memory of watching
CGI the
Marmaduke when I
mouth
was,
in that
like,
movie. What about
7.
Hotel for Dogs?
I don't remember that
I
well
don't
enough
remember that
to...
movie either.
Here's the thing is that we're trying to think of stuff and I'm like, I can't think of a dog performance.
What about cats versus dogs?
I don't remember. You know what I liked? I liked Underdog as a kid.
I did not like that movie. It was boring.
I don't think it was very good, but I was kind of scared of it. Peter Dinklage plays like
I
an
was
evil
about to say,
scientist.
isn't Peter Dinklage in that movie?
He plays like an evil scientist, and he like wants to kill Underdog. And I was like, oh my god.
Okay, here's the thing about
There's a part where he
Underdog.
holds up like a big needle. This is all. Those are the only points I remember from that movie. That is the only things I know.
Talk about needles. This movie's got some needles too.
Oh yeah, I guess. I feel like the needles in this movie aren't that scary. But,
No, they're not very scary. I don't know. I was just trying to bring it back to the topic.
I think if I really thought about it, I could probably think of a dog that was in a movie that like really stole the show for me. But I don't know. Right now on the spot,
how do you get into a career of being like a dog handler?
You probably start out like being just like a trainer.
You think you get nepoed into it?
You absolutely
if
could.
your family's a breeder.
A family business, hell yeah, yeah.
Do you think there's podcast nepotism?
Like
I guess not, because I don't think it's been around long enough.
Well, I don't think there's probably like podcast parents who've had podcast kids, but I feel like there's probably people who have podcasts who have famous parents or like successful parents, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think the direct line to
okay, son, we're going to bring you in as a guest on our podcast, and then we'll spin you off into your own.
But I definitely think there's people out there with podcasts that are able to have podcasts because their parents work in whatever.
I mean, I wish we had some clout.
I know. I like to hate on nepotism babies, but I'm like, damn, like
it'd be nice.
If I was a nepotism baby, I'd be doing the same stuff, you know? Anyway, back to the dog. This dog is great. He hits his marks. He holds his spots.
It's very suspicious.
He's been acting kind of suspicious because he just kind of like walks around and like looks at certain places for a really long time. But they put him in the kennel with, I guess they have a bunch of dogs. They have like 5 or 6 other dogs there. And this is okay. This is why I'm saying this is incredible dog acting, because you have like the one dog who they brought in, right?
Yes.
And he just like sits down and is staring at the wall
like an alien,
like a good boy.
No, like a suspicious alien.
Like a suspicious alien. None of the other dogs. Do they start? I don't know. Do they start barking?
Yes,
before
they do.
Or after?
They do start barking at him.
They all start barking at all the other dogs while he's just sitting there calmly. And that's what impresses me. Is I'm like, if you have a bunch of dogs and you're like, you get them all to run.
Yeah, how did they not get the middle dog?
But
to
I'm like,
freak
that
out?
one dog is just sitting there. All the other dogs are going crazy, barking all around him. So I'm like, that's crazy. Like, props to like the animal handlers or trainers or however they did that, because it's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I think it's because that center dog at a point becomes a puppet.
At a point, but I think we were arguing about this the other day. I think that there's at least a few shots where it is still the real dog.
The way movie making, they probably could have gotten the shots of the dogs getting all riled up.
Separate from...
Yeah, separate from...
I feel like I might be wrong, but I feel like there's a shot where it's the dog and there's other dogs barking, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so the other dogs all start barking, and then this main center dog... Like explodes
into like tentacles, and
there's like tentacles
its
shooting
head
out
falls
of it.
Off.
There's like I don't know, bile, I guess, shooting out of it. There's some sort of liquid. It's like shooting out all over the other dogs. So all the other dogs are freaking out because it's got tentacles and it's trying to eat them.
Obviously, that's not what you want.
No, can't say I've ever wanted that.
I mean, I guess who would want that? An exploding dog.
An exploding dog that's gonna eat you, yeah. So there's like these little tentacle things flying. It's like its body like kind of like shrivels up, I guess. I don't know.
It's really not great. It's shooting the dogs with like a liquid.
Yeah, so some of the dogs are able to escape.
Poor dogs in real life probably got shot with like cold water.
I mean, they had to have like humane animal treatment, right?
Yeah, no, I know, but I don't think it's inhumane to like squirt a dog with some water. Maybe it is. Maybe that's a very controversial thing I just said.
I don't think it is.
What? It's not. What? They're not gonna hurt them.
No, yeah, I agree.
Don't people like squirt like dogs and like cats with like a spray bottle?
Yeah,
I don't do that. I've never done that.
No,
I treat animals with respect.
I do as well. I think that they're fine.
I don't want to say something that ends up like being like, oh, I can't believe you treat animals
like, wow,
this way.
so you abuse animals?
No,
so you're
I didn't.
Okay with animal abuse?
I don't know. I thought that the common perception is that
folks.
I think you can get an animal wet. I don't know. Like, I guess you don't want to spray it with like a pressure.
Clearly they did. They got it. Well, yeah.
Like a pressure washer.
Yeah, no, duh.
I'm just saying, maybe in the movie, the stream looks like it's coming out pretty.
I wasn't even trying to make a comment about.
No, but now I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about how did they hurt that dog?
No, they didn't hurt the dog.
Okay, I don't think they did.
It's like you said, they just dumped some water on it. The dog is fine. So, like, 2 of the dogs escape. And then they're running all over the place. And then the scientists at the base are like, what's with the dogs? Why are the dogs active? Why the dogs get out? What's going on?
What the dogs doing?
They go and they check the dogs. They're like, oh God, who let the dogs out?
We made that joke already.
I know, but this one actually like makes more sense because the dogs are actually out, you know?
Yeah, and
put the dogs away.
You can't let how many of these are you gonna do?
I don't think I have any more.
I was about to say, can we talk about this dog?
They run up to the thing and they see the one dog that's like basically exploding, all the tentacles everywhere.
They burn it
like,
with a flamethrower.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog. This is bad.
That's not anything. That's not anything.
I thought it was funny.
Don't buckle over laughing like you made some like amazing comedic.
I think it's really funny.
This is no one's gonna listen to this.
Hot dog.
That's not anything.
It's just, I was making dog references.
This dog that's like our neighbor dog. Sorry, not to go back to that, but like it was howling until like 2 a.m.
Oh, I didn't hear it through that.
Yeah, you fell asleep. I was sitting out in the living room for like late last night, just constantly howling.
It was howling? Howling.
Howling.
Can you not say howling?
You couldn't say McCready, okay?
That's like a made-up word because it's a last name. Howling is a real word.
Howling.
You're like adding a syllable.
No, I'm making sure I'm trying to say it properly. Howling. Howl. God.
I don't know if this is better or worse than yesterday.
Well, we're not re-recording it again.
No, we're not.
So this is...
Sorry, if this is terrible, this is what you get.
People tune in for this, right?
Yeah. So, okay, some of them arrive there, and then they're like, get the blowtorch, because they're like, they can't fight that dog. It's not even a dog anymore.
And we had talked about last time, why would they own a flamethrower? Because what is the point of a flamethrower?
And I said they were adopted widely in World War I.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing we should add to the conversation. We should
World
add,
War I?
No. We should add more like, I don't know, factoids. Interesting things.
Okay, maybe about the movie. Just like, I don't know about generally.
No, okay, here's the thing.
I don't know if you know about the flamethrower. They weren't invented in World War I because we looked this up yesterday.
Yes,
so I was like, I think it's for war.
And now
I looked it up and they weren't invented for war, but they were the German army in World War I really was like, yeah, flamethrowers.
And now all our podcast listeners knows a little bit more about the flamethrower.
There's a good little fun fact for you.
Anyway, they probably
our podcast is not to educate.
So I deduced that they probably have the flamethrower because I don't know if they're in Antarctica. They probably gotta melt some ice sometimes, clear out some snow.
But they get the flamethrower and they burn the dog. So pretty much all the dogs are dead except for the two that escape.
Yeah, some two dogs escape.
They also, we're gonna point out, don't burn it for very long. They kind of shoot that thing and that's it. Oh, you know what? I forget to say this made sense to me, but the way that the thing when it like transforms, especially when it's like this dog one, the way that it's like opens its mouth kind of reminds me a lot of the Demogorgon in Stranger Things. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is
half
a huge
inspired. Yeah,
because they've been really open on Stranger Things about using a lot of like 80s influences. So I would not be shocked at all if that was a contributing factor to creating the Demogorgon and the look of that. Because I watched this movie and I was like, oh, that's kind of like the Demogorgon. I love Stranger Things, so
Stranger Things is pretty good.
It's a good show.
They wait too long between seasons.
Did you see the day after the election? They were like, coming 2025, and everyone's like, not the time. Like,
read the room.
Like, why are you announcing this right now?
How are they? Okay, the kids are like 25.
They're our age.
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown got married to John Bon Jovi's son.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
What?
I know, that's crazy.
I didn't even know John Bon Jovi had a son.
She's like younger. She's like not like
she's younger than us.
She's like a year or two younger than us. She's not like hugely younger than us, but craziness. Anyway, no one gets married in this movie.
No.
Getting back on topic because we haven't not been on topic.
Okay, we're gonna have to like cut the plot synopsis. We're gonna have to cut some shortcuts here in the plot.
Okay, so
we're gonna be here all
after
night.
They burn the dog, they're like, "What was that? What's going on?" So once again, they do some like
they dissected the other corpse,
and they're like. So they basically are able to find that, like, okay, this is, like, some sort of life form that's able to imitate other life forms.
Yeah.
Bad news.
Okay. So here's the thing. I guess that's not a pun. It's hard to talk about this without saying
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying, here's the thing about the thing. But it's like a cellular organism.
Yes.
That I guess is able to, like, telepathically communicate or, like, a hive mind or something. So it's...
So it's able to like multiply and become whatever
and like split
whatever
off
living
and
organism
become,
it takes over. So that's happening. A few of them go back to the Norwegian base and they find a literal spaceship. Just a straight up huge UFO.
Like 50 style flying saucer.
Like, yeah, no, it's in the ice, it's frozen, and they're like, well, damn, like that's crazy. So then they go back to the others and they report like, yeah, there's a UFO. And then one of these guys,
Keith David is one of the characters here.
Oh my god, he's like, I just don't know if I believe in aliens. And we're like, that's pretty damning evidence right there. Like, there's
you didn't even have to see the UFO.
It's a huge flying saucer.
Even if you didn't see that.
No, if you saw just the flying saucer.
No, just the dogs exploding, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like that could be...
What could that be? What do you mean?
I don't know. There could be some sort of explanation for that. Like, it could be like a parasite or something. I don't know. But like...
A parasite? Okay.
Maybe. I feel like the way it functions is kind of like a parasite because it kind of like takes over a body, sort of.
I guess
but
so.
I agree that'd be kind of a stretch, but like you could maybe, they're scientists, they could probably make it work within a framework, right? But then once you see a literal spaceship, there's not really any denying that. You know, like if you were unsure before, that should just solidify, like, yep, it's an alien.
Yeah.
We're dealing with an alien. Yeah, no, yeah. I think that part, like, made me be like, what do you mean?
So, basically, one of the little segments of the thing, it's the corpse I think they initially brought in, because they didn't burn that.
Yes.
It gets one of them.
Well, I was going to say, I think before this, the one doctor that's been, like, doing most of, like, the testing, I guess, with the bodies, he runs a little... program on his computer.
On like some weird 80s movie program where it's like little pixelated
like some computer
cells.
program that doesn't actually work, and then it shows that like basically if this thing gets out, like the humans population is going to die as we know it. Everyone's just going to die out. So he starts going a little crazy. He destroys like...
I think this is after the first guy gets done. I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think it is. If I'm looking... Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay, so he runs the system before, but then I guess he goes crazy after.
Yeah, he goes crazy.
Okay.
So it gets one of the guys. One of the guys turns it to a thing. They burn him.
They burn him outside.
And then they're like, it could be any one of us.
So then I guess is when the scientist goes crazy.
And he cuts off all communication.
The radio, he destroys the helicopter, bad stuff. So then they have to put him basically in isolation because they're like, you're losing your mind. And his mentality, to be fair, is like, we can't let this get out, it's going to destroy the world. Which... I think I said when we watched this, I was like, I get where he's coming from, and I kind of agree with him, but I just don't think we've reached the point yet where it's like, we have to destroy everything. I'm like, there could still be a way out of this.
And here's my response, is that when would it be appropriate?
In my head,
you gotta quarantine immediately.
They have some ideas about how to figure out who the thing is, so I feel like I would have waited until after.
You're the reason COVID spread.
What?
Listen, with these kind of things, you gotta act immediately. You gotta quarantine immediately.
They're in Antarctica.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah. I'm just saying we didn't need to completely cut off everything else from the rest of the world. Also because their radio they have is like already not really working at this point anyway. Like I guess it's like the middle of the winter, so like the radio comms are kind of down, and like the helicopter they can really only use it like at certain time. I'm like, I just think we jumped the gun a little bit with completely cutting ourselves off from the outside world. I'm not saying, I think it reaches a certain point where maybe, yes, that might be what you have to do, but I don't think it reached that point, personally, yet, at this point in the movie. But, so they basically, they isolate him, and then they have to stay safe, so they killed all the dogs.
Yeah, well, he killed all the dogs because they're insane.
Killed the dogs. Which, I hate to say it, but that was actually probably a smart move.
No, it was a smart move. To save us the time, because, I mean, look, where we got caught up last time was that there's just so many characters, and it's a deception game. Any one of them could be the thing, so there's a lot of splitting off into groups and doing
There's a nice little moment where, like, one of them's like, but if it's a perfect copy of me, would any of you even be able to tell? And the answer is no, of course.
Because it's a perfect copy.
You would never know.
You think it takes the clothes off the person and then puts them back on?
No, because it's like...
Though the clothes aren't part of it.
No, but...
You would have to. Because you can't get the clothes dirty. Wait a second.
Wait, I'm so confused.
Okay, if the thing is killing a human being and it's gonna mimic it,
I don't think it needs to take off the clothes in order to do that. It has
no. But I'm saying if it doesn't, all the goo and the blood is gonna get all over the clothes.
Yeah.
So when it becomes the human, the clothes are going to be covered in blood. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think it at first when it becomes like it takes on the life form before it kind of like explodes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that becomes a problem until.
How is it going to? No, I'm saying it's not going to be able to digest the human before it can copy it.
But I don't think it. But
I don't think it can copy somebody.
Okay, wait, but we saw no, because there's that one scene where you see it happening.
Yes.
With like and it's just going like inside him, and like he looks not unwell, but like he's not like gooey and covered in blood. You know, like he hasn't like fully
Which guy are you
exploded
referring
yet.
to?
The one that they that's like right before this, where they take him out and they torch him.
Yeah, him. No, I think his clothes are off.
What?
I think no, because I don't think there's any clean way for him to take the human, get him, and then re-replicate him.
It just seems like a lot of work. That just seems like annoying logistics, you know? Like
I know, but I didn't even think about that before.
In order for him to like take over, first we gotta take the clothes off. We
you don't
want
want to get the clothes.
It's like an annoying doctor's appointment. Like when they like give you the little robe thing.
I was gonna say, are they making you like disrobe? Like
no.
That doesn't sound right.
No, I mean, but just like when you have like, I'm like, can't we just like, do I really need the robe? Like, can I just like keep my clothes on
I guess
to do
you're right.
all this?
I guess you're right. It's like you go to the hospital for like
something mild, and it's like, can I just leave my clothes on? You know?
No.
I don't need, like, I understand if it's like for like an MRI or something. Like, yeah, do what you gotta do. But you just want your checkup. You just want to make your yearly. Making sure everything's in order. Mm-hmm. That just seems like a pain to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't gone to the doctor in like 2 years.
I was about to say, I don't think I definitely have not gone to the doctor since like college, really.
When I turned 21, my pediatrician was like, all right, like, this is it. You gotta go to an adult doctor now. And I haven't been to one since.
I was about to say, this is so like embarrassing to admit, but it's like, that's your pediatrician. They've been with you since you were a child.
She was amazing.
Now I gotta find a new guy?
I was gonna name drop her. I probably shouldn't, but she was great.
Yeah,
Loved her.
You shouldn't name drop your pediatrician.
Shout out to her. She was great though. But yeah.
We gotta judiciously edit this one. This podcast is
been talking
50 minutes.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Okay. So
okay.
Where are we?
So it's a game of deception, right? And they're going back and forth. They're splitting off into groups. McCready takes charge.
Yeah, basically. Well, okay. They have an idea at one point, like, we can test the sample blood, but then the sample blood has been destroyed.
So
and then it becomes it just adds to like the tension of like, well, you had the key, well, you had access, well, somebody could have broken it. Just a lot of pointing fingers going on. You might be the thing, and you might be the thing. So they try to split up in groups. Just in case, you know, if somebody's the thing, no one's caught alone, you know?
Mm-hmm. I really don't think we need to get too deep into the weeds on the minutia of all the little tactile things they do.
The blood thing made sense, though, because I feel like that comes back.
And they come back to it because later, once the thing has started taking some people... Oh, well, you know what? No, here's a crucial moment. Yeah. Because they at one point think McCready is the thing.
Yes.
Do some trickery. And then one guy during the scuffle of... the argument with McCready, I guess, has a heart attack. And then they try to do CPR on him.
Oh,
the defibrillator.
Yeah.
And
they do the defibrillator. I didn't know about this part.
Yeah, and then his chest opens up and, like, eats him because he's the thing.
It just straight up opens up and, eats this guy's arm.
And he explodes.
Oh, my God. That was crazy. Like, that's how I felt like... I have not seen this movie. I did not know that was happening. That, like, made me... I was like, oh, my God. Like, that shocked me.
Yeah.
So that was a really exciting moment, I feel. Because, like, for me, like, I think of, like... I think I mentioned, like, this movie reminds me a lot of Alien. I think there's, like, a lot of similarities. Obviously, there's an alien, and, like, it gets let in, and there's all these people who are trying to figure out what to do, whatever.
Both of these are based on the story.
The chest burster scene, I feel like when I first watched Alien, I knew that was going to happen. I feel like this is, like, very... this is almost like an equivalent to that scene. I don't want to say it's equivalent, but like very similar. Except I didn't know it was coming, so it was very like exciting to like see that happen and in the moment like really feel like oh my God, like
yeah. Here's a little interesting tidbit that we also mentioned on the last recording. the reason these are similar is because they're both inspired by the same source material.
Yes.
H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness. H.P. Lovecraft was a mad racist, but let's not acknowledge that.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, he's apparently
I don't really know a whole ton about him.
Terrible dude. However,
but yeah, no, I do think that this movie's quite similar to Alien. I think they're both unique enough. They have their own things going on.
That sci-fi horror thing is like his trademark, and is
Yes.
It is not unfortunately, because I mean the stories are cool in some ways, but it's like super influential for a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But he's also racist, so just consider that.
All right. Well,
I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure I have it out there that I don't support that dude. However,
you don't like racism?
No, I don't. But however,
you're so brave.
His stories were pretty interesting.
Cool. I guess I don't want to call it the chestburster scene, but I don't know what else. That scene is very, very cool. That was probably my favorite part of the movie, honestly.
Yeah, it's a great part of the movie. It's iconic.
It's really great, yeah. Because then the other guy's arm gets bit off, and then they have to kill him because basically he's
it explodes into giant monsters, and they monster.
Oh yeah, because then his like body's basically melting, and his head melts off.
Yeah,
and then his head sprouts legs like a spider.
Yeah,
and it's like walking around. So good. So like just disgusting. I love it. You know,
great. It's great.
It's so good.
All right, what happens next?
I very much love that part. So then
they tie people up to do
They come
like
up with this
test.
idea of how to test. Since the sample blood earlier, they were going to like compare their blood with the sample blood.
But then they realize this is a cellular organism. McCready's like, well, if you just burn the blood, then it's going to react.
The blood's going to react because we know that like burning it makes it
because it's going to if it's a cellular organism, it's going to be like
Yeah. So they do that dramatic thing that movies do where they all like cut their hands.
Well, they cut their thumbs, but it's like they always do such big cuts in movies when they have to sacrifice blood.
The hand and they're like, oh, and then there's like a huge gash on the hand.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't cut across the palm, really.
Like, is that a thing? Like, has anyone, like, why would anyone...
I don't know.
Ever in real life... I don't know. Not me.
Well, okay. Is it because that the palm is the most thick skin? It's like meant to be like used and worn and torn.
I don't know, like, where...
Because you can't cut on the top of your hand because there's so many veins there. And you can't cut in your wrists or lower.
Well, yeah, no, you can't do your wrists. Could you not do the top of your hand?
Well, I mean, look at my hand, right? Look at how those veins are.
We had this discussion yesterday. I have like no veins. I mean, I have veins.
Yeah, but you can't see.
They're
them
hard
through
to find because like
my
I've
skin,
tried to donate blood before.
I am a ghost.
Yeah,
my skin is a translucent white.
I'm not even that tan right now, but
well, it's because you're Greek. So
hell yeah,
your skin has like a
Mediterranean, has that olive undertone.
I've been told I have a little bit of an olive undertone. Don't look at that.
Who said that?
A couple people actually.
Okay.
I'm saying people think my brother isn't white. He is. But
I've never met your brother.
Sometimes people are like, are you like maybe a little bit more southern than the U.S.? Are you like maybe from a Latino country? They asked my brother, and he's not.
I've never met your brother, so
I'm not saying I'm pretty white. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm white.
You're pretty white.
I mean,
I'm also pretty white. I'm not out here saying I'm not white.
I guess Greek people aren't not white.
It's very yeah. We're still European.
Oh boy.
We're going into a direction we were not planning on.
What else happens in this movie?
They get the blood. So they get everyone's blood, and they're going down and they're testing it. And one by one, they're like, okay, you're good. Come over here. You get a gun. You're good. So we got like McReady's good. The next guy's good. I don't know any of their names. And then we finally get to this one guy, and the blood reacts. And so
he explodes.
He becomes the thing, and he's going crazy. And there's still... The thing was, they tied up all of them while they were doing this test, basically for this purpose. So, like, if one of them did...
But they didn't think about it, because if one of them was the thing...
Then, well, there was still one guy whose blood test was left, and he basically just gets killed because he's tied up to the thing.
I don't think it's because he's tied up. Maybe he does kill him.
I mean, he's
he
right next to him, and he's tied up right next to him.
Kills the guy right next to him. I think they get that guy.
I think after they kill the thing, and that guy, because they're together, then they do the test, and they find out that last guy was not. He was safe.
I don't know if that's what happens.
I'm almost I feel like that's how I remember it.
Listen, it doesn't matter. You know what? If you really wanted to know the specifics of what happened in this movie, you would watch the movie.
Yeah, you're not getting it from this podcast.
You're not getting it from us. Yeah, so they get
So,
the thing.
I think they've reached a point now where they're like, they kind of agree with the crazy dude. They were like, we got to destroy this place. Like, we can't do anything else.
So-
There's like 3 guys left at this point.
Yeah, they light the place up.
They go and look for the guy that they locked up earlier, the
at
doctor
very
that went
beginning.
crazy.
Yeah.
And they find like a tunnel and a spaceship down there. So we can only assume he's become the thing,
Yeah, I think
and
he
that
pops
he's
up
just
and he
trying to get
attacks.
back.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get back.
You said he wasn't trying to get back. You said he was trying to kill people.
No, that's not what I said. I said I think it's in his nature to kill people, so therefore, like, we got to do something about that. We can't just, like, let that go.
I maybe through a technicality.
I think you were like, it's not trying to hurt anyone. And I was like, no, I don't agree with that. Like, it very clearly is.
because they're trying to hurt it. You know?
It attacks long before anyone tries to hurt it.
It's not killing for sport.
But the first example of it happening is just a bunch of innocent dogs.
We don't know what it was thinking. They thought the dogs might have killed it.
No, they didn't.
Dogs were barking at it.
They ran in there and it had exploded and had tentacles flying out of it and its mouth was opening up like the Demogorgon. What do you mean? The other dogs did not do that.
The other dogs were bullying it and they were antagonizing it.
So it blew up into a different creature?
That's how I feel, you know? That's how I feel on bad days.
That is not what happened.
Home stretch.
Okay, they're like, okay, well, we gotta destroy this place because this thing's gonna get out, and he was right. Everyone's gonna die. So they start just like burning down the whole place, essentially. Mm-hmm. And then our guy Kurt Russell and his fabulous hairdo, I don't know what is he doing. He's like making a fire or something, whatever. He's like in the tunnel system that's been created, I guess.
And he's about to explode it.
And then what do you think pops out? Oh my god, it's the thing.
A giant
Do they ever call
blob.
it the thing?
No.
Interesting.
Maybe they're like,
I feel like they're
say,
scientists. They're not going to call it the thing.
maybe through one offhand they're talking about the thing, and in the middle of a sentence they refer to it
They're
as
like,
like a
you know,
thing.
when the thing attacked me, like whatever.
Yeah, maybe that happens.
Great. So the thing shows up. There's a big final battle, and then he kills it. He blows it up.
And he blows
He
up.
like actually blows it up. And we keep saying it explodes because that's just like the best way to describe it. But like he throws
He actually blows it
TNT
up.
at it. Yeah.
TNT. And the whole base is fucked up at this point. So
Yeah. There's like basically nothing there. They're just out in Antarctica.
and McCready walks out and stumbles down. He sits down.
There's one other guy that's still alive.
Keith David, who we haven't really talked much about, but Keith David comes out.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you mean, that guy? You watched the movie. Did you not recognize him?
No, I didn't.
He's got a very
actually.
specific voice.
Yeah, that makes sense now. I actually didn't recognize him though. Anyway, they both sit down.
Yeah, they meet up and they sit down. They're like, oh, we don't know which one of us is the thing.
Right. Or if one of us is the thing.
And then they're also like, but the base is also destroyed, so we're just gonna sit here and freeze to death.
Yeah.
And they drink.
And they have a beer. Because, yeah, basically at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because they're both going to die either way. Mm-hmm. So, the question is, do you think either of them was the thing?
No, I personally don't.
I actually agree. I think we talked about this yesterday. I actually don't think either of them was the thing. I think they're going to drink their beers and freeze to death.
People think Keith David is the thing because he doesn't have, like, the condensation from his breath. Like, because it's cold.
This is not something that I noticed when I watched it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess maybe on a second watch, I'd try and, like, track it a little better and see if I could figure out by the end.
But it also does not matter. Even if they'll never trust each other again, they're going to die anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we did.
We re-recorded a podcast.
I feel like that was a lot more,
arguably,
a lot less talking about I don't know if this was better or worse than the one we did the other day.
It was definitely different.
The one, yeah, it was very different, actually. I thought we were going to get stuck just saying the same stuff, but boy, we just love to yap. You know? We're yappers.
Howling. We're here howling.
I feel like you're saying it correctly now.
That's how I've always been saying it.
No, before you were saying howling.
Howling. Anyway, you liked the movie.
I do. I thought this was a great movie. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Very fun.
I was very excited. I went into it thinking, I was like, I've heard this is going to be good. And then I was like, yep, it's good.
And we have one more movie as part of our John Carpenter-a-thon after this, but we're not going to get into that yet.
Because it's my turn to make Tyson watch a movie.
Wow.
And Tyson actually already knows because, like we've mentioned a million times, we are re-recording this. So I'm making Tyson watch Greta Gerwig's Little Women.
Yay.
A fantastic movie. A movie that is very important to me.
Haven't seen it.
It's shocking to me that you haven't seen it. I think you're really. It's just a good movie.
I believe I'll like it. I mean, I have no reason to believe I won't like it.
This movie, like, means so much to me.
That's good.
I feel like more seen by this movie than like any movie ever, and this is just one that's like consistently in my top 3. I feel like, you know, when you have like your top 5 movies or something, they kind of rotate what could be number 1 or whatever, but I'm like, this is like always like in the top. Like, very, very big deal to me. I love this movie. Very excited to watch it. Also, I didn't mention this the other day, but part of the reason I'm picking it for right now, like why, and not, I don't know, waiting longer or whatever, is because it's one of those movies that's like not explicitly a Christmas movie, but kind of has like...
You didn't tell me it was a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas movie. It's one of those movies that has like a Christmas scene or 2 in it, and so I always end up like rewatching it around Christmas time or in the fall. There's also some really pretty fall scenery. Well, so I always end up watching it like November, December.
Look, I'm excited to get into it.
It's gonna be great. We're gonna see Timothée Chalamet confess his feelings on a hill.
You love to see it.
Love to see it. There's 2 different great Greta Gerwig monologues about being a woman.
Wow.
Yes!
I'm glad I'm gonna be able to identify
One's by
with
Florence Pugh and one's with Saoirse Ronan. Oh!
Does Timothée Chalamet have any monologues about being a man?
No, just being in love. Actually, there's another monologue.
Just being in love with a woman?
I don't know if it's a monologue. There's a part that Emma Watson's character used to do about like her hopes and dreams. All the little women get to shine in
Doesn't
this.
Florence Pugh play like a 12-year-old at one point?
Like, yeah, technically she's supposed to be pretty young.
How does that work?
We'll watch it and you'll see.
Okay. Well, I guess that's
Very
it.
excited.
All right. Thank you for bearing with us.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I get to do the outro.
Yeah, no, we'll do the outro. I just want to say it's about time we grew up. And it's about time this podcast starts cementing its place in podcast history. And I think we're going to start treating it with the same amount of professionalism we showed this episode for the rest. Why are you cringing? You're cringing.
I'm cringing. Yikes.
What, you don't think this was a great episode?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure. I'll only know when I listen to it.
Interesting.
I think that this, I don't know if we told the story of the movie as well, but I think that this recording was more entertaining than the one we did the other day. So,
I think so.
Take that for what it is, I guess.
All right. Play us out here.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. If you want to connect with the podcast, you can on Instagram at shutupandwatchpod or on letterboxd at shutupandwatch. You can like this, leave it a 5-star review.
You updated our social medias.
I did. I spent some time earlier today updating the letterboxd. Good. It was a little behind, but we're
not
catching
anymore.
Up. Not anymore.
And it will never be behind again.
Right. Yeah. Oh, thank you to Ronan Lilly for editing the podcast, to Justin Hickland for our theme song, and Bailey Johnson for our logo. And hey, Tyson.
What?
Did you know that if you share this podcast with your friends, then you'll have hair that's as flawless as Kurt Russell's?
That's amazing.
Yep. It doesn't matter what terrible things you might go through. Your hair's going to look flawless no matter what.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
His hair looks great.
It's fantastic. Great hair in this movie.
I'll have to share this podcast then with a friend who might like it.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Well,
all right.
That's it.
Bye, guys.
We did it. We're not re-recording. If we didn't do it, we're not recording it again.
No, that's it. That's it. All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.